Snaps, this is Tortoise the Grey. Welcome back to another exciting episode of ARK Survival Evolved, the Center Map Season 2, whatever we're going to call it. We are hanging out at the base, done a little bit of work, not a ton really, but did some gathering, crafted up some more narcotics now that we've got slag here to get some of that, the narco berries going a little bit better, so we've got a ton of narcotic crafting up. Did some resource gathering and things like that. Nothing too exciting. Haven't done any more taming or anything at all since we left you guys. I do want to go ahead. I was thinking, and I think I've told you guys a couple of episodes that we want to tame a raptor, and we do have a raptor saddle crafted. But what I actually would rather do today, is I want to put together a boat. And I want to do a little bit of exploring, because the raptor is great and all, but, hold on, let's see, where is 250 wood, 125 fiber, alright, the raptor is good and all, but, well, just grab all the wood, hopefully it'll be enough, this, and the fibers. I think that should be good. But realistically, I don't really have any need to do exploring on this island. What I would rather do is do some exploring in the map as a whole, and I'm sure that that's what you guys would rather see me do as well. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little bit of exploring here on the map as a whole. There we go. We've got our raft. We can throw this stuff in the chest. And then we'll go down and use this. But yeah, so we'll definitely tame a raptor. Probably next episode. Because what my goal is... Ooh, wow, we're really close even. Crafting that boat gave us a lot of experience points. We're actually going to hit level 30 today, probably. Which is exciting, because at level 30, I believe we can actually craft the pterodon saddles that we need. At which point we'll go up to the obelisk, and we will... We'll get Hellcat out of the spire there, so that will work out very nicely. Now let's go ahead and place this boat. Put a lag spike as he joins us here on the map. There we go, there's the cursor. Alright, so here we are. We have our boat made, which is awesome. We'll do some work on this probably today. Expand it out a little bit, get ourselves prepped a bit, since we are close to finding a flyer. It would probably behoove us to have this equipped to kind of take, because we're going to want to take slag and the dilos and stuff with us, so it would probably behoove us to get this thing set up a little bit in anticipation of that. So let's get this thing named the USS Sproutshire. Perfect. We're going to want to hide the sail too. There we are. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So let's go ahead actually then, and we'll get a little bit of stuff going here material-wise. Let's see, hopefully we've got enough wood and stuff left over. We don't have a ton of wood, but I think for the thatch stuff we probably don't need a ton. So let's grab all of our thatch, fiber, and wood. Alright, so let's see what we can make. Alright, so let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think is all we can do foundations-wise. And then the rest of these we're going to craft roofs, or ceilings, rather. And so we'll give that a shot here, just to get us a little bit of a platform. And we'll continue to work on a fancier raft. We don't have all the ingrams we need. Really, we need to get into wood tier stuff, which we can actually do. Oh, and there is, in fact, our level. Let me go ahead. I'm going to bump weight here to 200. Okay, so that should... Okay, so wait, Gallimimus, Stegododicarus, Megaloceros... oh no! That's not right. Wasn't it, oh no! Oh, it's level 35! Okay, so we've got a little ways to go still. That's unfortunate. I thought it was 30. That's okay though. Just a couple more levels to go, and that's alright. But we've got a lot of saddles open up to us. And once we get settled, we'll worry a little bit more about that kind of stuff. I'm a little more concerned. I don't want to, because, you know, I don't want to do what we did last time and just have, like, all the dinos. Like, I only want to have the dinos we need, and kind of spend some more time exploring and stuff like that, as opposed to building up this giant base that we never really, then we've got to spend all this time maintaining all that stuff, and that's not really how I want to play this season. So we're probably, realistically, our base is probably going to be mostly, like, our central command station, at the very least, is going to be kind of the boat. I want to kind of set the boat up to be kind of our main hub. And if we end up setting up on land somewhere at some point, that's great too. Because eventually, Spinos are my favorite dinosaurs in this game, so we're going to want a Spino. And doing that on a boat is probably going to be a little bit problematic, because the Spinos are huge and the boats are not so much. So we'll probably at some point set up a central base, and if only with our tribe mates, even, because we're actually capable of we've got the other tribe mates, so we probably will have kind of a personal base a little bit, and then so let's do that. We'll probably have a bit of a personal base as well as a private base. So let's go ahead and do that. Because we'll have our own little setup, and then we'll also, we can probably put some of that other stuff. No, oh, okay. I was in the way. I was like, no, please. Okay, looking good. Hopefully we can still get, yes, beautiful, beautiful. So we'll obviously fix some of this stuff up as we go, but that'll be good for now. We got a nice platform here, and then we can go ahead and expand this out a bit. Let's see, 7. Expand this out. Let's see how much we have. We got 5. Okay, that'll work. But yeah, so just kind of thinking through things. I want to be a little bit more mobile this time. So, we might have a little camp out place ourselves, and then we can also, let's see, do we want to, let's put this, there we go. Okay. Even for the time being. And that'll be good, and then we can go ahead and sail this sucker. Okay, so let's do a little bit of exploring today. How about that? How's that sound? I don't want to... We're going to leave the dilos and the trikes and everything. Trike, slag. We only have one. We'll leave that stuff there for now. But man, boats are slow. I'm seriously, like, hopefully... Well, this Primitive Plus mod adds more stuff to do in the primitive section before you get to the Giant Ingram section with all the electronics and stuff. Oh, a little bit of lag here as we load in. I think I mentioned last episode that we had kind of basically a server reset. We were able to keep our characters, but all the dinos and structures and everything we had built were wiped away because we had some issues with the mods and everything like that. We're using Primitive Plus Unrestricted, I think is what it's called. And that one is apparently pretty buggy compared to even the other version of Primitive Plus. I'm not sure why we're using that one specifically. I didn't really weigh in a whole lot in those conversations, but that's the one we're using, and so some of those bugs forced us to have to kind of refresh the server in order to get people being able to get on and stuff. This boat looks cool. Assuming that's a boat. Looks like it might be a boat. Pretty well built up. But yeah, so both Billy, which is Walk, April's boyfriend, and Pudsey, I think they're kind of working together at the moment, because they had both gotten pretty far in the game. They're both playing a lot, so I think they're doing some stuff together there. And so I think they decided to. Billy had been on the North Jungle Island, and Pudsey had been in the underground, but she was looking for a new place anyway. So I think they both decided to just come together and at least to get reset back up. They're camping out on South Tropical as well, which I've got no problem with. We're not planning on with. One, it's a big island. We can have everybody on the server stay there if we wanted to. But two, we don't plan to stay there full time anyway. We're looking, as soon as we can get a flyer here in a couple of levels, we'll go get Hellcat out of the spire and the obelisk, and then we'll move on. Because that'll open up the ability to explore things a little bit more. It's a much bigger map this time, or at least it feels much bigger. And it's also at the same time largely broken up by water, and so it's a challenge to do much exploration without a flyer. So yeah, taking it slow, getting set up. We probably will, like, next episode, tame a raptor, because we'll want some sort of mount for the ground, and so we'll attempt to do that, and at the same time, well, I guess I was thinking we might get to get the saddle ingram today. So I guess it'll depend on how long it takes us to get the saddle ingrams. Maybe as I build up the raft a little bit, doing all that construction will speed things along a little bit. Maybe I should just build some more rafts. We almost got like a full level from that raft, it seemed like, because I had just leveled up, I feel like, before I started recording. So yeah, I mean, if it gives us that good of experience, then sign me up. Let's build all the rafts, and and we'll get our flight on. And of course, we do have. Apparently, we're freezing, which I don't understand, but okay. But yeah, so we've got tribe members like Kays and things like that who, have leveled enough that they could give us a saddle, I believe. I think he's high enough level to do that. Well, obviously, he's got a flyer. I was on the other night, well, before we did the trike. The other night when I recorded the episode where we tamed Slag, I was on previously setting up the base and everything, like I said. I think I mentioned that. Because of the reset, I kind of went back through and just kind of was on hanging out with some people. Kays and Pudsey and Walk were on. Win was on for a bit. And we were just hanging out while I put the rest of the base back together. And so he came over and he brought his boat over, and he did have a flyer already. He was offering me one, but I was like, you know what? Nah, I'm recording. The series, don't want to get too far ahead. The goal is to kind of do things ourselves or whatever. And realistically, I have a flyer. I just need a saddle. So, but we'll get there soon. I think it's good to take things slow at the very beginning. Otherwise, we'll run out of things to do real quick. And there's lots of caves and stuff, but at a certain point, there's very little to do between like mid game and or like beginning of the game and end game. In terms of content, at least, like, because at a certain point you're like, okay, I'm just going to be grinding up all these dinos. But I think our goal of like streamlining this season should end up helping with that a little bit. Okay, so I think this is what. Yeah, so this is Tropical Island North that we're coming up across, which is where we did the intro. So that was first. I actually, it may be, not really be the best idea, but let's go over. There's this half volcanic, half sand island in here between Tropical Island North and Lava Island that I kind of want to check out. I think it was included in the first episode, but I think according to people that's technically this map's Carno Island, so it might be interesting to kind of check that out. We will probably die, which reminds me that I maybe should have put a bed on this boat. Maybe we should stop real quick. What do we need to make a bed? Is that going to be a ton of hide? Because I can't really do a ton of hide on the fly. Here we are. I do need 40 hide. The rest of it I could get. Maybe that's not the best idea at the moment. Maybe that's not the best idea. Let's go into the mainland here. That'll make more sense for the moment. Once we get a flyer, we can kind of get in and out a little safer. We'll hit up Carno. But yeah, I think Jay has been able to connect reliably a couple of times. I don't know if he's gotten on since the reset. But I think he did, because he was having some real issues. I think in episode 2, Giga Impact, we had Jay was on there very shortly. We got him as a member of the tribe and everything. And then he got booted and wasn't able to connect for like the rest of the episode. And I don't think he's really been able to get on too reliably since then, except for very recently. I think he's been able to connect a couple of times. So yeah. That'll be good. We'll have our tribe mate back, and then of course there's Kays and Mary who are now in our tribe as well. Although I don't think either of those two. Well, Mary might be recording. I honestly don't know. I haven't seen an episode come out from her yet. But I don't. Kays doesn't do streaming or recording at all anymore. He just doesn't have a setup to do it at the moment. I think he currently is still playing tethered to his phone. I think he's using his phone's Wi-Fi hotspot to play stuff still. Um, so yeah, he just doesn't have the bandwidth or the time or the whatever to do that kind of stuff anymore. So there, I think both of them are kind of moving on at a much quicker pace. Both Jay and I are kind of the old dudes who have responsibilities and other things that we've got to worry about. Jay's got the kid, and I've got Mrs. Gray and the puppy and a job and all that. So I don't have the countless hours to spend on ARK this season. Like, so it's gonna have to be a little bit different just in general. We're gonna tame a handful of dinos, and we'll kind of focus in on getting those guys leveled up and stuff. Now we're coming up here on a Spino. This could potentially prove to be bad, although he's focusing in on a trike there. Hopefully that trike will keep its attention for a minute so we can slip on past. Hopefully. They're still going. I'm surprised that trike's holding up. I would expect a carbo to be able to, but that trike... okay, let's see. We should be able to sail over it. But yeah, so we're coming into... I'm going to go a little... Well, we can continue to sail while looking at the map, I think. So let's do that. So yeah, we're coming in... Okay, so we're coming up between Jungle North and Mid Jungle. So they get big rivers that kind of divide up all the different spawn areas here. I mean, I guess this isn't necessarily huge. You can easily cross this, but significant enough. And so big enough at least to sail boats through, which is cool. Some of the waterways on the old server or the other map, the island, you weren't necessarily big enough to be able to get boats through. But it seems like, from what I've seen thus far, we should be able to get our boat in and out pretty easily. So that'd be cool. I mean, I think there's a lot of ruins in these jungle areas, especially Jungle South. I spent most time in Jungle South. I haven't really explored Jungle North or Mid Jungle a whole lot, but I would imagine there's at least some ruins in these areas because they're so common in Jungle South. Ooh, probably not a level enough to grab that. I think yellow's like the last one. But it would probably be cool. I mean, it's such a pretty area. And so, I mean, if there's somewhere where there's a cool bit of ruins or something that we can claim, I know like Poet has set up camp in one. I think April's living in a ruin. And like Poet's is probably I don't know if there are better ones on the map, but his seems pretty awesome. Ooh, it's a Diplodocus. I haven't actually seen one of these in person. Well, I have, but you guys haven't. But there's a new sauropod that's smaller than the Bronto, but it can carry up to like 10 people or something with its special saddle. So yeah, that's that one. That's one of my nitpicks with the game, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I mean, it's smaller than the Bronto, but the Bronto can only carry one person, whereas the Diplodocus can carry 10 people for some reason or whatever. But yeah. Carbo on the water here, Bronto on the shore. Nothing real dangerous as of yet, although I have a feeling most of the time I've spent in the jungles areas, basically every time you turn a corner there's a Spino in the river. It seems pretty prolific with the Spino spawning, so I would not be surprised in the slightest if we stumbled upon another Spino here as we kind of wind our way through. Looks like maybe a snow biome up ahead. I know, like on the map, yes, we're probably just seeing way out in the distance, but kind of on the far left, you see up in the top and bottom kind of a whitish spot around that circle with, or that island with the moat around it or whatever, basically. And those are the two snow biomes in this map. It's an interesting map layout, but I kind of like it, and I'm really excited to explore it. So we'll get Hellcat together, we'll do some exploring. I don't know if I really want to worry about, like, oh yeah, see, there's another Spino coming up this way. Let's take the fork. Let's take the fork this direction. Not just because of the Spino, but this will allow us to loop back around and out eventually and head back home a little more conveniently than going north will allow us to. But I don't think I'm gonna worry like a ton about kibble and stuff like that this season. I know it'll save some time, but we have the taming multipliers turned up, which is good. And I think that, you know, once we start worrying about like broodmother and stuff, maybe we can do that. But I think at that point I'll be able to, you know, buy or borrow kibble from some other people potentially. I don't know. We might pick a couple that would be like, okay, so I definitely want a perfect tame Spino or something. So I can look into. I think Spinos take Stego eggs. No, Stegos was Argentavis's. Spinos might be Argentavis eggs. I don't remember exactly what kibble they used, but so say. Oh, a little bit of lag. Oh, I thought that pterodon was like swooping in there for a second, maybe. But say we decide we want a perfect level Spino, which I can totally see. If we find a level 150 Spino, I would very much want a perfect tame that day. We may you know go to a certain lengths to make that happen, but I don't think we're going to have the full kibble operation that we had last season. Let's get our torch back out so we don't freeze to death here. So I don't think we're going to go quite as crazy as we did last season. Want to keep a little more agile. Don't want to spend so much time on infrastructure, but in those instances where it's useful, or I deem it's necessary, we will definitely be doing some of that for sure. You know, I think pterodon kibble is what you can use to tame carbos, and I would really love. I know, like last season, we did have the perfect tamed plastron. I want to get, and I think we transferred him, but I want to get another set. So I want I want a male and a female perfect tamed Carbonemuses, plastron and carapace, and which refers to the plastron is the flat undershell, and the carapace is the rounded upper shell of a turtle or tortoise or whichever. And I don't know. I just, for whatever reason, I love those names for a pair of battle Carbonemus, and so I'd love to get a pair of those. Like I said, a Spino. You know, we'll have to look into what the cave situation is here. If any of the caves allow us to bring creatures in, then we might need to consider, okay, so what creatures can fit inside the caves? Because I know, like, that first cave, well, I think it's the only cave we actually did on the last map, but the cave we did with Jay, I think it was the Cave of the Hunter, maybe? I think so. The Cave of the Hunter, we were able to fit our wolves inside and things like that. And so if that's going to be the case, that would definitely be something that would end up being useful. So here's a ruins. Let's actually stop off and pop in here just really quickly. We'll take the last couple of minutes of the episode to pop off in there, just kind of getting a lay of the land. It'll be a lot easier to do from the air, probably, because we're totally unfamiliar with this map. It was kind of nice to get a little bit familiar with where we were on the island before we really started going with the ground exploration team and stuff. It just made it a little easier to keep our bearings, because you have so little, like, you have so little, what's the word, just like, context, I think is the word I wanted. Yeah, so little context for what you're seeing when you're just like down at the ground level or whatever, looking up through the grass, basically. Is this Poet's Place? Let's set up here. I think this might be the place that Poet has ended up in. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks very much like what I saw in his last video. If not, it's a place that looks almost identical. At which point, I might claim it. But I think that this is Poet. Yeah, I'm seeing some blue stuff. I'm assuming that's Allied. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the place Poet has set up. And he found, this place is massive. And you could fit all your dinos and all your stuff in here, pre-built structures, which is pretty cool. I'm looking forward to something to that effect. Let's see what Poet's got on him, huh? It's just pitchfork. Interesting. Usually made melee weapon that can also be thrown, has a chance to break when used, slightly more damage than. Oh, interesting. Slightly more damage than a spear. Curious. Here, Poet. I'll trade you just so I can try it out. It'll be great. Thank you so much for your contribution to New Sproutshire. But yeah, Poet's got... I would be very surprised if there were better ruins on this map. I don't know if Poet like accidentally stumbled on these. It seemed like it in his episode, but he got pretty lucky. This place is massive, and it's very well situated and gets lots of room. Doesn't have to build a ton. You can just kind of worry about putting stuff down and things like that. Relatively secure, all that. So yeah, this is a pretty neat place here. Obviously, if you're watching my stuff, I'm assuming you're watching Poet's as well. But yes, let's take a look at this pitchfork. I guess it would do a little bit more damage because you get the 3 prongs or something, maybe. Staircase is over here. Alrighty, guys. Well, anyway, guys, I think that's going to be it for today. We did a little bit of exploring, and we got to find where Poet is set up. He's kind of, for context for you guys, so, okay, so yeah, he's kind of in the lip there. I thought we were closer to the coast. So there we go. I don't even know. Oh, I think we went the wrong... Yeah, okay, so I thought we were kind of skirting out the edge of the south jungle, but we turned in too much and are still in kind of the mid-jungle range. I thought we were on the outside of this whole landmass, I guess. Alrighty. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. We did a little bit of exploring, and we'll pick up more next episode, probably doing a little bit of taming, see if we can't get ourselves a raptor or something. And then hopefully there soon, after, we'll be able to have enough levels to get a... oh, we're lagging. To be able to get a teardown saddle, and then we'll hopefully be able to find ourselves a place to kind of call home. Yeah, I mean, some of these cooler places are definitely going to be lost by the time that happens, but I think we'll find something that'll meet our needs, which is all I can really worry about. I'm not super worried about it. I think more than anything, I probably am truthfully excited about. I really liked at the end of the last season. We did the ground exploration team sort of deal, ooh, I did not know Wynn was on this arc. The one thing I wish it had like Minecraft was like the tab screen, like if you hit and you could see who all was online, because it doesn't have anything like that. So like you can see, oh, there's people who are online, like when you join. But I don't know if there's a way to like see who is online necessarily. But yeah, I kind of liked the mobile. We kind of had everything we ended up really needing right there on the raft when we did the ground exploration team, and I kind of really like that. So I think the mobile base will be a lot of fun, and then we'll find somewhere to do some of the more involved stuff like the fabricating and things like that we couldn't really realistically probably fit on a boat. But if we could find a way to actually do that, and at some point be like, okay, so we don't need, you know, the smithy, and well, I mean, probably would still, well, we could always get a beaver. The nice thing about the beaver is that they've got a smithy on their saddle or whatever. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna continue my exploration on back to the island where we're currently set up, and I will bring you guys back next time. Probably trying to tame a raptor or some sort of land mount that has a little bit of a carnivorous habit. I really want to get a bear. I'm really interested in getting a bear. Yeah, that'll probably be a little while. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Torm with the Gray, and you guys have been great. Make sure to leave those likes, comments, and subscriptions for me, guys. And I'll see y'all back here next time on ARK: The Center Evolved. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.